For a long time I wondered about kayak fishing. It's not like I needed any more reasons to get on the water, but I have very fond memories of fishing when I was a kid back in Argentina. With the family, we now find ourselves in a location with easy access to lots of coastal paddling, creeks, marshes, all filled with sea life. Also, we love the idea of possibly adding fresh-caught local fish to our meal rotations. So it felt like the perfect time to give it a try. What I was not expecting was for fishing to make me sound like a 10-year-old again.
I caught a fish! I caught a fish! I caught a fish!
So this is a look back at my first couple of days kayak fishing, as well as things I learned along the way. Before getting out there, I researched what types of fish were local to these waters, which would be a good idea to focus on, and what equipment would be appropriate. I reached out to friends for advice, got my fishing license, and checked local regulations. I got a cheap rod online, some lures, basics, and was ready to go. Day 1. The 3 types of fish I'd be looking for overall were redfish, trout, and flounder. These tidal creeks and marshes should be a perfect spot to find them. There's plenty of oyster beds, tall grass, depth changes, as these fish like using these features to ambush bait. Also, I'd have to get used to using a rod again. My casting thankfully started improving throughout the day, because at first it was awful. Eventually I started feeling bites. I changed locations throughout the day, trying to take advantage of features I researched.
Now a couple of hours later, still have not caught a single thing, but I've had a lot of bites, and I've had actually fish ripped one of the lures in half. I didn't get to catch it, but I still think it was absolutely a huge success today. But the camera's going to die any moment, and I just wanted to say that even though I haven't caught a single thing, it's been such a wonderful day on the water. I just need to learn what I'm doing.
Day 2. I decided to start off the day in the spot where I got the most bites the day before. Some bites came, but I did not get any fish on the line. My casting improved, and I started to get a feel for the equipment. By now, I had seen the full tidal cycle in several spots, so I started understanding a bit better what might work best. I ended the day on a creek's mouth that comes off of the main channel. It has a sand shelf and a significant depth change. I realized maybe I had been trying spots that were a little too shallow overall. Another day ended with just bites and no fish on the line.
Once again, absolutely beautiful out. Alright, so what did I learn in this one? There were more bites. I think I need to refine what I'm doing. I'm also not finding the right spots, so then the fish that are biting are just nibbling on they're not the bigger fish I'm after, they're the tinier ones, and so I'm just in the wrong spot.
When I got home, I pulled up satellite imaging of the area and realized that all the spots I had targeted were indeed really shallow. The shelf at the end of the day and the creek it led to would be my next area to explore, as it would give more options with deeper waters. Day 3. I was ready to change things up, and by now the tides had cycled through enough to start the day at a full high tide. I'd get to see now the entire cycle as the water drained, and my aim was to find as many possible locations that these fish might favor. This time, the bites were significantly more intense.
Definitely there's something over there feeding. And it would make sense because this is the river bend here. The creek bends right here. Everything would get pushed up on that shore. So finally have a fish on. And the camera's not on. It's the first fish I had on the line. And then I lost it. So still very exciting. Finally have a fish on. Another one. Man, I think I'm just not setting the hook right, but look, shut off in half. Alright, I'm getting closer. Again. No tail and ripped to shreds. So close.
But still progress nonetheless. And I now had a specific location to target on my next outing.
Strike 3, third time on the water. Still haven't caught anything. I do feel like I'm getting closer. I had 2 fish on today and lost them. I had plenty of bites, especially in this spot. I gotta remember to come back here. I think next time I'll just start in this spot because it's a really nice bend. It does an S. There's also a really huge oyster bed, and I mean like little oyster island and a whole bank of it. But also because of the S, there's all these little nooks that I was getting really good bites on, and that's where I think if I start here, if I had come all the way here today, I think I would have had maybe a little bit better luck just because this spot was fantastic with the outgoing tide. I might not have caught anything third day empty-handed, but it feels great because I'm learning and I spent a third day on the water. I can't complain. Look at how beautiful this is.
Day 4. I had in mind spots that I had scouted the last time and was ready to take advantage of the ebbing tide when I realized that my cheap reel would not lock in place. It allowed for the line to just continuously go out. I tried to clean the salt water from it each day, but it seemed that the mechanism had now stuck, and then eventually it let go. I tried taking the reel apart to fix it, but I couldn't get it working. I wondered if I should head home, come back another time, get another reel or fix the one I had, or if I should work on finding another way to get my line out. I kept thinking of our time in Norway when Christopher and Matt had us using simply a piece of wood with a line and a couple of hooks, and that was plenty to catch enough for some stew and supper. And granted, water conditions were different, depths were different, types of fish were different, but overall, I knew I had the day on the water and I didn't want to give it up. So I tried a couple of different setups by using my water bottle to hold the line. Eventually, I decided to keep the line on the water bottle, run it through the rod, and then reel it backhand.
It's actually working. Not that I'm catching anything, but it's not working any worse than the reel setup, so... Oh, that's an actual bite. I just had an actual bite again. I caught a fish! I caught a fish! I caught a fish! It's tiny, but I caught a fish! Look at this little guy! Let's get the hook off. Ah! Little trout! Alright, little guy. There he goes! Caught my first fish! Let's see if we can catch something we can actually get home for dinner.
My new scouted locations had the right idea. So I focused on following bait, spotting ripples moving on the water, following the patterns. And here's another thing, because I am in a sitting kayak, I am way down in the water, so I don't have some of the advantages of being either standing up or standing on a boat. So then my focus turned to keeping an eye on the surface of the water and trying to find the right spots.
Holy crap, I caught something else. Flounder. Look! Flounder, a little too small. Let's put it back. Go away. There it goes. Woo! 2 fish! No reel! Alright. Okay, things are working. This setup is working. Alright, I think make it 3. I don't know how big, but I think I have a fish on. Oh, it's another flounder. This one is big enough. I'm pretty... Oh yeah, this is a big enough flounder. Oh yeah, look at this. Success.
The flounder was a 13-incher, 12 being the minimum here. Sure, it was not enough for a full meal, but it was a delicious part of our dinner that evening and felt like a huge accomplishment.
So I don't know how much battery is left, but because it died before. But man, what a day! I'm just gonna head home now. After catching that flounder, I stayed in 2 more little spots. I had lots of really good bites. I had 2 fish on, and both of them I lost. Both had eaten through the tail, but it doesn't matter. And they both felt bigger than the little ones that I caught so far today. But wow.
So I figured I'd enjoy kayak fishing. being on the water all day, learning about the locations, wildlife, hopefully the satisfaction of catching a fish. But I never expected to enjoy it this much. I loved it. The magnitude of life that you find anywhere you look, the sounds, the transformations caused by the tides, it's incredible. I thought I was taking it all in when we paddled and explored these areas, but so much can go unnoticed. Day after day, I discovered so much more each time. And then when I finally caught fish, the excitement of the catch, hoping to land it, releasing the smaller ones and keeping that bigger flounder, it felt just like I did when I'd get lucky enough to eat my catch as a kid. So if you've thought about trying it but haven't, I highly recommend it. And I will be sharing future fishing adventures. As an update, the next day I went out on the water after I put this video together, I caught 3 trouts. I'll share that on the next one. And then if you have any stories of your first catch, please share it in the comments below. I would love to hear it. See you next time.